I got hit by a car.
Like, people are in the Reddit group.
So we'll look into the national debt. Can I rip that again, Danny?
I feel like we're doing a good job.
And call me crazy.
Crazy. Welcome back, everybody, to Biking into Cars.
So today we are going to talk about what has happened to the pardoned turkeys.
Okay.
And also we are going to check in on some other beloved animals and see how they're doing, or, you know, animals sometimes have a shorter lifespan than us a lot of the times. So how they were doing in their last days.
Oh, wow.
Because oftentimes, and this is why I got interested in this, I listened to this episode of the New York Times Serial podcast.
Okay.
With Sarah Koenig Jr., whatever the fuck her name is.
Great.
But you know.
Yes, I do. I'm familiar.
And she is not the person that does the story, but someone else does the story. Some man.
We could put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and it's really good, and it's called The Good Whale, and it's about this whale named Keiko. And he's the Free Willy whale, the whale that played Willy in Free Willy, and he was not free, obviously. And there's a whole six-part documentary or podcast on it.
The podcast is called The Good Whale.
Yeah, it's called The Good Whale.
Okay.
It's a serial production.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
I don't want to steal his work and plagiarize.
No, we don't plagiarize here.
But I would highly recommend going to see that podcast, because basically people got into saving whales, and then they were like, hey, what about that whale from the Disney movie where Willy is freed? We're obsessed with freeing that whale.
Yeah.
And in the movie, so maybe let's check in on so that's what this, so they did that, and he was in kind of a dilapidated place, but there's also a little bit of controversy with that, because it was in this place in Mexico, and they were certainly trying their hardest, and they loved this whale, Keiko. I don't remember how they pronounced it. Let's just call him Willy, because that's what he is in the
It's
movie.
Free Willy.
Yeah.
It's not Free Keiko, it's Free Willy.
Right, and his real whale name is like so at a certain point I can't say that, right?
No, we don't speak whale.
I'm not Dory.
No.
So I can't. So we're gonna call him Willy.
Great.
And either name would be butchering whatever his God-given whale name is.
Willy just flows off the tongue.
Yeah. Basically, he was in Mexico, and...
Are we doing Willy first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some guy, he wanted to make a sequel or something. It was a promo for the sequel. Part of it was
Free Willy
like,
2?
oh, and we're also freeing the real Willy.
Okay.
And so they kind of freed him, but it's just complicated because he was raised in
captivity.
Yeah, right. They kidnapped him when he was 2 years old or something. And it's very sad because baby orcas really need their moms.
Right. They cling to them. Like they ride on the back or whatever, basically.
Right. And it's not just that he was kidnapped, it was he was taken to another species. So it's just complicated, and he never exactly learned the right way to do things, and so you can't just release him back into the wild.
Right.
And so eventually they did. And they slow released him, and then he escaped, and they were really excited, but then he found humans and he came back. But he didn't escape. They were trying to encourage him to go out.
To go, right. Be free. Go live your life. But when you're in captivity.
It's like disputed whether or not he had a good time and was being free, or...
Right. Well, that's what happens with animals in captivity. They free them, but if you've been in captivity since you were born, then you don't know any other way of life.
And episode 5 of the podcast is actually a musical version of what would happen. It's like 15 minutes. It's really interesting.
I would love to listen. I love that we're a podcast talking about other podcasts.
Yeah, so anyways, go listen. Well, because I'm not sure I'll steal their work, but also people
We're just trying to share that this is information out there that you can and probably should consume. I'll consume it.
Yeah, exactly. So that got me to thinking, and then I was like, oh, I wonder what happens to the pardoned turkeys and what that all is. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like for animals, it seems like best case scenario. Because, okay, imagine that you end up on another planet and it's full of people. But they're not like us people, they're other people.
Aliens. Extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Right. Like other beings look at us and they're like, those are
Those are
aliens.
aliens. Yeah, right.
We're all aliens to each other in the galaxy, which
Right.
is kind of a beautiful thing.
So you go to a planet, and on the one hand, like now you've achieved total fame because the whole planet knows you,
Right.
and you are now taking up 100% of everyone's mind.
Right.
So,
It's an earthling.
right. One could even say that you have achieved the goal of
Fame.
2025.
Fame and fortune.
Right. That's what people care about now. But, however, I think on the other hand, it actually wouldn't be a good thing. That's the fable. Is that,
Yeah.
oh, you wish upon, oh, I wish upon a shooting star, I'll be the most famous person in the world. Now, you wake up on another planet, you're the most famous person in that world because you're an alien.
I don't know. I
Anyways.
don't think I'd hate being on another planet.
No, I'm talking about a very specific.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm just
Scenario.
saying, like,
So now you're just this phenomenon, and you can't even communicate with them.
that
But
would be
like you
hard.
can kind of understand them sometimes.
Like body language, vibes.
and they like to read into a lot of what you do with your body.
Oh.
And sometimes you're laughing awkwardly or sadly, and they're like, she's having the best time in the world because they can't tell the difference. So that's just how I think about it, and it's actually sad. And when it's not the same, but when we get obsessed with animals, I just don't think it ends up well for them. Because we can't collectively really make good decisions. When we all decide to make a decision, it's like the saying, a camel is just a horse made by a committee. Because, have you ever heard that?
No, but I
It's from Parks
love
and
that.
Recreation, but I'm sure it's from something else.
It's so valid.
And it's right. It's like, okay, right. If a committee had to make a camel
ho-
or a
a
horse,
horse.
they would like talk about the pee,
Right.
and they'd be like, oh
The
no,
2
we need
humps.
100 humps so that you
Right.
know they could retain their pee because it's a desert. And it would be like, we didn't ask for this.
Right.
We wanted you guys to make a horse. So I just feel like when we put our heads together, and also popular opinion comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work out. And so it's not always the best for the animals that we
Right.
love them. But the part in turkeys really are not that deep.
Can you explain a little bit about what
Well, that's
they are?
exactly what I'm gonna
okay,
do.
wonderful.
So what happens is the president of the United States is presented with a domestic turkey from the National Turkey Federation, hereby known as the NTF. Usually the type of turkey that this is a broad-breasted white variety, which I just feel like is so racist. We're saving the white turkeys. I mean, I don't know why you're laughing. It's a very
No,
serious
I
injustice.
know, but it's
It's par for the course. Of
Right,
course.
it's just- it's-
broad-breasted too. Like
right,
or
of course,
breast.
right. Like duh.
So, white breasts. What will this country not do for white breasts? I mean,
It's so bad. Oh my god.
so the ceremony dates back to the 1940s. But up until the 1970s, the turkeys that the NTF presented the president were traditionally eaten at the Thanksgiving
So
dinner.
they were not pardoned.
Right, the turkeys were slaughtered and eaten until the 1970s, when pardons became tradition, and that started with H.W. Bush.
Oh, I was gonna ask who started that trend.
Well, I
right.
have a whole history.
Oh, fabulous.
So the turkey, the white-breasted turkey,
The broad-breasted white turkey.
right, the broad-breasted white turkey.
Also, everyone
White.
knows like the dark meat does taste better. I know
I
you
don't
don't know
know.
that
I've
if you're
never had
vegetarian,
turkey,
but like
yeah.
the dark meat is just it's more flavorful.
So that's why they're
Oh, maybe
pardoning
because
white,
they know
because it doesn't taste as good.
right.
Um,
No, but a white turkey and white meat, I don't think are the same thing.
yeah, I don't think it's the same thing either. I think it's the feather
Right.
color.
That's so stupid.
Which I feel like the feather color doesn't, because like, isn't dark meat,
Meat,
part
it's
of
in
every
both,
turkey?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So traditionally, the turkey comes from the chairperson of the NTF's home state, and occasionally from the chair's own farm. Probably people are jockeying for that, and they're like, if you're a turkey NTF person, you're
Right.
probably-
You're like, well, I want my turkey to be the pardoned turkey.
Right,
It's like
exactly.
an honor.
So, traditionally, holiday turkeys had been donated to the president as gifts from private citizens since the 1870s.
Okay.
So, that would be like the turkey that they would have, I think, for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
You know what it's giving?
Or Christmas is ham, but it was the holiday turkey. So
You
I don't
know,
know what
it's
holiday
giving
Hanukkah.
it's giving in the Princess Diaries when she's presented with like The live
Yeah,
chicken.
exactly. Except for no eating half of it.
Right, which really, and Julie Andrews, which makes it kind of not really that
Not as
interesting.
magical.
No.
Okay, so for a while, Horace Bose, a Rhode Island turkey farmer, presented a dressed turkey to the president each year from 1873 until his death in 1913.
Wow.
Now, in 1913, the annual presentation of the turkey to the president became kind of contentious.
Okay.
So Horace's last year in the competition. So in 1913, South Trimble, I think that's his name.
Okay.
A Kentucky farmer, or no, wait. In 1913, South Trimble, Kentucky. No, I think his name was South. That does. I don't know. So South Trimble, a Kentucky farmer and clerk of the United States House of Representatives. What a name. Presented a turkey to then President Woodrow Wilson.
Okay.
Convinced that his red pepper fed but smaller turkey tasted better than Bose's. No record survives of which turkey Wilson chose. Tragic. But
I would like to know.
this, along with Bose's death that December, set off a free-for-all in which numerous farmers tried to be the one to supply the annual holiday turkeys to the president. So basically, Horace was killed by this.
It just took him out.
Yeah, I feel like there's a whole theory here.
Like a conspiracy.
South Trimble, the guy's name, or maybe the town that it was in, but I think it's his name.
I feel like it's the
His
name.
name's South Trimble. South probably killed him.
Wow.
I think South killed him. The rivalry escalated in the Roaring Twenties with a group of women who were Warren G. Harding supporters from Chicago.
Okay.
I don't know what that has to do with that. They sent turkeys. Oh, Warren G. Harding was the president.
Yeah, President Harding. I was like, okay, I can keep going with this. I was like, why are you struggling with this name?
I don't know. You know what? I just have to be completely honest with you.
You didn't know he was
I
president.
have never heard that man.
Wow.
I'm sorry
Okay.
to this man. If I saw this man's name in my notes, I wouldn't know a thing. I didn't know he was president.
Okay, so note to myself is I have to do an episode about all the presidents. Can you name all the presidents?
No,
Okay.
but my dad can.
So President Harding was presented with.
Okay, all these women would send them to him from Chicago, I guess.
Was he like a hottie? They were like all sending him turkey.
I didn't know he was a president. So
Right.
How could
I
I
wonder.
know
I wonder if he was like.
why?
I wonder if he was like a player. Like was he?
Including in
single?
1920 when he was still president-elect and at the Panama Canal Zone. But the turkey was delivered by, what do you think?
A turkey. No, a plane. A
Train.
donkey. Okay. I mean, he had strong eyebrows,
Yeah.
but not exactly a heartthrob.
Women in Texas also sent Harding turkeys, but the Texas turkeys were notable for being the first to be sent while still alive.
Oh, I've been picturing them all alive.
No, they were dressed. I think, with I don't think they're talking about putting the turkeys in clothes. When they're
Yes,
saying
I'm
they're giving
aware.
them dressed
I know.
turkeys. Okay, well, so then dressed
I don't
is
know.
like
It's just like
a
when you
cooking
think about
something.
like pardoning a turkey, I'm thinking like, oh, we're not
But
gonna
I
kill it.
mean, I don't know what year President Harding was president, but you seem to know a lot about the presidents, and I'm sure it wasn't the 70s.
No, it was not.
So there we go.
It was earlier.
So you tell me if I've gotten to the end of my history lesson.
No, you haven't.
Okay, there we go.
No, he was president in the 20s.
Okay. Calvin Coolidge.
That was also a
Died
president.
In the back.
No.
I know that was a president because that's like a fun name. So he was alarmed by the numbers of turkeys being offered to the president, which makes sense because it does seem like
A lot.
people are starving, and
Right,
at a
and
certain
you're just
point-
like-
they didn't even have SNAP benefits that.
No,
that
giving
anything
Oprah,
had them.
you got a turkey, but it's only the
Only the
president.
it's giving the opposite.
The
of it.
president gets
It's
all
going.
the
It's giving
turkeys.
Oprah saying, "I get a turkey, I get a turkey, I
Yeah.
get a turkey."
It's true.
Yeah, opposite of
It's
Oprah.
just-
So he briefly stopped the tradition upon assuming office in 1923 and chose to buy his own turkey. He relented in 1925 and was soon bombarded with an unusual array of animals to eat. including Rebecca, a live raccoon that
No.
Coolidge received in 1926, and unwilling to eat it, designated as a White House pet, which makes sense. And raccoons are actually,
No.
don't they have opposable thumbs? Which begs the question, because people are like, oh, humans are so, because the opposable thumbs.
I can't talk
But
about
don't
raccoons on the
raccoons have opposable
podcast.
thumbs?
I can't talk about raccoons on the podcast.
Doesn't it throw off the whole
I think that's why the raccoons were
theory of
able to do
evolution?
what they did to me,
Yeah.
which was attack me.
Well, I think any animal could have.
No, but they like got into the garbage. Like they definitely can open things.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's not all the opposable thumbs.
That's interesting that it was a White House pet.
So the
You think it
official
lived
presentation
inside?
of a turkey to the president each year began in 1947 under President Harry S. Truman.
Okay.
The presentation was partially born out of a lobbying campaign, of course. The Truman administration, in an effort to conserve grain for foreign aid campaigns, began promoting, quote, meatless Tuesdays, unquote.
Really not meatless Monday?
Called a Tuesday for me, just a normal Tuesday. And poultryless Thursdays, also something I still like to list. This is gonna surprise you, but American citizens quickly grew tired of that. It wasn't required, but it was strongly encouraged.
Right. They were like, come on, guys, eat your tofu.
Right. And also, the National Poultry and Egg Board
Did
was
not
not
like it.
pleased.
Right.
They felt that it was an attack on their industry, and they also noted that in 1947, Thanksgiving obviously was going to be on a Thursday, but Christmas and New Year's Day were also on
No.
Thursdays.
It's a
Poultryless
bad year
Thursdays.
for the poultry community.
Exactly. So a truce was called in the dispute in early November before the Thanksgiving holiday. But Eggless Thursdays continued, but to be promoted for the rest of the year. So dishes like pumpkin pie were still on the forbidden list. So you were not a real patriot if you had a pumpkin pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, pumpkin pie is like,
I know.
it's part of the
Exactly.
festivities.
So here is another crazy thing about pardoning of turkeys. President John F. Kennedy spontaneously, because it wasn't common practice to pardon turkeys at
Okay.
this point. President John F. Kennedy spontaneously spared a turkey on November 19th, 1963, which was just 3 days before what?
It was assassinated.
Yeah.
It was
So
his
I
final act was the
Yes,
pardon.
There's a connection there.
I don't know, but in this home, we love John F. Kennedy.
Kennedy returned the massive 55-pound, 25-kilogram turkey to the farm, saying, "We'll let this one grow." And little did he know that it would grow to be older.
Then he was,
Yeah, or not older, but
would live longer.
live more from that day.
Yes.
The first president on record to issue a pardon to his turkey was, guess.
The first
We know it was
president
after Kennedy.
on record.
Because that's who I just talked to you about. So,
Wait, but I thought it was.
and it was before HW made
Oh.
it tradition.
Oh.
So between Kennedy and HW, people really like him. Or some people
Was
really
it
he's
Nixon?
polarizing. Do you feel that people really like Nixon?
No. Was it Carter?
No, it was Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
And he did it because of Iran-Contra. So, Reagan previously had been sending the turkeys presented to him to farms and zoos.
Interesting.
And also, he was the one where they started receiving names.
Oh.
And they are all like kind of food-themed names. Like, he pardoned Robust and Juicy. Okay, so in 1987, the turkey Charlie was supposed to be headed to a petting zoo, but at the time, Reagan was facing questions over the Iran-Contra affair on whether or not he would consider pardoning Oliver North. Reagan conjured the notion of the turkey pardon as a joke to deflect those questions.
Smart man.
Yeah. So he didn't make any reference in 1988 to it. I think probably because he didn't want to call back to when people were asking him about the Iran-Contra affair. But his successor, George H.W. Bush, instituted the turkey pardon as a permanent part of the presentation, beginning his first year in office in 1989.
Let's go.
Approximately 46 million turkeys are killed for Thanksgiving. So this pardon is actually worth a lot. Like the turkeys that get pardoned, it's a big deal.
That's
However,
a wild number, though.
according to Sanctuary, well, this is according to farmsanctuary.org.
Okay. You think it's inflated?
Well, they seemed really anti this whole thing, so
Okay.
maybe. So in the early years of the pardon, turkeys would go to a sanctuary called it's called Frying Pan Park.
No.
Yeah, near Washington D.C.
Frying pan perk.
But
It is
the
a
young
thing.
Bush the younger didn't like that. He was like, "That's weird. We can't be sending our turkeys to Frying Pan Park."
I mean, George. He didn't like it.
Yeah, Bush the younger.
Yeah. Bush too.
And he sent marshmallow and yam to Disneyland on actually United First Class.
Wow.
Yeah. They took up an entire first class section
Of
of United,
wait.
of the flight.
Yam and marshmallow are the names of the turkeys.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, of course. I think it's better to be the runner up than it is to be the winner turkey. Especially that year. Here's the thing. Marshmallow, the one that was pardoned, had to grand marshal Disney's Thanksgiving parade.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Yam got to skip it.
Oh, I would want to be Yam in this
Yeah,
situation.
I think being the runner up is
So much
actually
better.
best.
I mean, it's president or vice president. It's Miss America versus Miss Congeniality. Like, one, you have all the responsibility. Two, you just get the glam and the access.
I understand. I don't even feel like that's. I get it. Yes, and no.
I think it was actually a very, a very good comparison. So sound off in the comments. Let us know.
So Yam and Marshmallow went to live at Santa's Reindeer Roundup in Frontierland, which is seasonally Big Thunder Ranch, of course.
Frontierland.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah. So those were just some fun, notable things. In 2024, the pardoned turkeys were Liberty and Belle. They were put up in the Dillard Hotel, where they roamed free around the plastic sheet-covered hotel room. And then they went back to their home in Minnesota, where they retired at Farm America Agriculture Interpretive Center, a place where I assume they are teaching turkeys interpretive dances. Yeah.
Should we do a
I
field
didn't
trip?
look further into it, but I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah, I can't imagine what else it would be.
Yeah. So both the main and the alternate get spared,
That's
which is nice.
yeah.
And the alternate is for like if the turkey gets sick from the crowd. Because these are special types of turkeys, the NTF raises a special presidential flock from which the final two turkeys are chosen based on suitability for the ceremony. It really is a pardon.
Okay.
Because those not chosen from the special presidential flock are sent to processing to become part of the food supply. These nicely trained turkeys,
Like great
that are trained to,
manners.
like, right, we could
Right.
use them to educate children on turkeys or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you like go to the hospital and cheer people up on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, exactly.
Feels like there's some things we could probably do.
So that's all on that. So now we're checking in on another animal. Checking in on Mooding. Mooding's doing fine. Mooding's with his or her family. Mooding's growing.
Do you want to tell people about Mooding?
What do you mean? Everyone knows about Mooding.
Are you sure? What if we have a listener that doesn't?
I mean, Mooding was this baby hippo that everyone got obsessed with last year.
There could be. What if there are people that are not chronically online?
No, I know. So I just explained.
Yeah.
That. That's
okay.
it.
Great.
Is there anything more that needs to be explained?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about Dolly, the cloned sheep.
Yes. Okay.
So, in 1996, Dolly.
Also, the year I was born.
Oh, nice.
It's me and Dolly.
Was the first mammal cloned from an adult somatic cell, and it was cloned using a cell taken from the mammary gland. Somatic cell nuclear transfer is when the cell nucleus from an adult cell is transferred into an unfertilized developing egg that has had its nucleus removed. So it's not like from the Proud Family reunion where they just clone them and hop out.
I love the
Which I
Brown
guess I
family.
never really thought about it. Like when you're cloning something, it's not like
No, you're not just copy paste.
right. It's like it's whatever it would be a tadpole or it would be
Right.
What would it be?
A
For a
pod.
butterfly,
A cocoon.
or would it be a
Or
caterpillar?
like, oh, you would take it from the. Oh, yeah. So it would be
or
a
a larva.
caterpillar.
It'd be a larva.
Yeah.
So the hybrid cell is then stimulated to divide by an electric shock it is implanted in the surrogate mother, right? Like someone has to like birth this baby, which they don't show that to you in like Johnny Test or
Right. It's just like, boom.
Dexter's Lab or
Great shows.
I'm sure Phineas and Ferb cloned someone at one point.
I mean, yeah, for summer vacation.
Right. The first animal cloned was a tadpole in the 50s.
That makes sense.
But the mammal sheep.
I mean, mammal's closer to us, so it's like more exciting because it's like, oh, one day we'll be clonable.
Right.
Although,
And Dolly had 3 moms. And she actually did eventually have a baby, so that means that her baby daddy had 3 mother-in-laws.
oh my God, that's crazy.
So she had 3 moms because one provided the egg, one provided the DNA, and the third carried the embryo to term.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't hear a single thing about a dad in there, just saying. She lived at the Roslin Institute, and she was euthanized at 6 years old due to progressive lung cancer, which was apparently not linked to her cloning. Although, like, a lot of conspiracy theorists think that it is.
I mean, it doesn't even feel like a conspiracy. It just feels like something we should explore further in the cloning community.
Well, they did explore it.
Oh, okay.
And there was
and
no-
that's how they figured it out. Okay.
There was, well, a part of the issue was that, like, helped the conspiracy theory is that the usual life expectancy of a Finn Dorset sheep is 11 to 12 years.
Okay.
And she got sick at 6 years old and was cloned from a 6-year-old sheep. So people were like, ooh, but I think it's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. though.
Yeah, it just like,
I'll probably go down that rabbit hole. later.
yeah. But I just am not a big conspiracy.
No, I know. That's where we differ.
And if you're wondering what a Finn Dorset is, it is a British and Irish sheep. It's a crossbreed of a Finn sheep with a Dorset horn.
Okay.
Just for our sheep enthusiasts. So eventually she was bred with a Welsh mountain ram and produced 6 lambs. So I guess that would be a Welsh Finn Dorset. She had Bonnie in April of
Right.
1998.
I remember hearing about Bonnie.
She had twins Sally and Rosie in 1999, and she had triplets in 2000.
Wow.
That's 6. So now we're going to talk about some space animals, specifically Laika, who was a stray dog from Moscow, and this dog was the first animal to orbit Earth, including humans, on November 3rd, 1950. I think including humans. When they say the first animal, like, we're an animal. I don't know.
Hold on. Yeah, humans first went to space in 1961.
Okay, so when they say first animal, they mean first animal. So first animal to orbit Earth on November 3rd, 1957. So the Soviets first claimed that she survived for several days. The truth didn't come out until 2002. The Soviets initially claimed she was euthanized prior to oxygen depletion. And at the time, it was widely reported that she died on day 6 when oxygen ran out. So that was the rumor at the time.
Okay.
People were like, oh, she died on day 6 when oxygen ran out. Russia was like, no, we euthanized her prior to oxygen depletion. Neither are true. What really happened is that Laika died within hours of launch due to overheating.
Oh,
I know, very,
I
very,
don't
very
like
sad.
that. That makes me very upset.
There was a monument unveiled to her
Good.
in 2008.
That's good. I'm glad.
So Laika dogged the Sputnik 2. Sputnik 2 was a rush job 4 weeks after the Sputnik 1, and it was kind of a propaganda effort to commemorate Sputnik 1 on its 1-month anniversary, which is so cute.
Yeah, but the dog really.
No, I know, so it's very upsetting. They provided Laika with gelatinous food for 7 days, and Laika was fitted with a bag for waste. Sounds like a blast. She also was chained to restrict her movements to standing, sitting, or lying down. There was no room to turn around in the cabin. Yeah, right. So, I mean, a few hours is, like, still too much time in there.
Yeah. I'm feeling better about the quicker death.
I know, although the heat is a lot.
Yeah.
So Laika was a stray from the streets of Moscow, just like me. They chose strays for this type
Right.
of stuff because the idea was that strays had already learned to endure extreme cold and hunger. What about fucking heat? And Laika was 11 to 13 pounds. The American press called her Mutnik. So from now on, she will be henceforth called Mutnik because the Americans won the Cold War. And I am American, and I believe her God-given name is actually Mutnik, not Laika, because the God that I follow releases names in American newspapers.
Okay, you heard it here first.
So they trained 3 dogs, but I think only one of them got an American name. So there's only one real dog in my heart. No, any dog from anywhere lives so large in my heart, looms large. So they trained 3 dogs, all female, because women bear the burden of the sin of Eve and also Delilah.
Is that from your research, or are you ad-libbing a little bit?
No, that's us. Isn't Delilah, wasn't that the first wife?
I don't know.
There was a first wife.
I'm not super familiar with the biblical.
Adam had a first wife.
Of course he did. That dog.
And she was bad. So we all but she was bad, and the second one was bad too.
Yeah, I guess all women
So that's
were
why
just
women
bad.
have their periods. Did you know that?
I did, actually. And again, we will be covering that topic at a later date.
But we just covered it.
There's so much more to say.
So Albina, and Mushka. I think it's Mushka. Albina.
That was good.
Albina.
I like that.
Albina. And Mushka. So Albina, her fate was not great. Not all of the dogs in this program died, but all these dogs did. Albina died on June 7th, 1958. She was ejected from a space capsule at 53 miles altitude with a dog named Saganka.
Why? Truly, why?
I know, very sad. Mushka spent a day in orbit. Sounds like probably fucking chained with it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blast. On December 1st, 1960, on Sputnik 6. So there was a lot of this going on. And she at least was with other plants, animals, and insects.
On board.
I don't know what the fuck they were doing. They were being the nerds, setting bugs up
This
there.
is crazy.
They selling an ant farm up there,
Oh
like a child's school project, and a spider got in there.
Oh my god, it's giving
For
Noah's
some
Ark.
arachnid in
It's
space.
literally Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Mushka and the plants and
The insects.
the retro rockets failed to shut off upon re-entry, and the Soviets remotely self-destructed the craft to prevent foreign powers from inspecting the capsule, because fuck the dogs, you gotta win the Cold War. And Mushka didn't fly on Sputnik 2 because she refused to eat properly.
She was hunger striking. It was a protest.
Great. So to train these dogs, it gets even worse.
I don't know how it can, but
Yeah,
also
this is actually a sad part. The other part was kind of fun, and it's sad that we killed 46 million turkeys, but we were focused on the 2 that lived.
I didn't realize how much death was going to be in this episode.
Well, that's on you, because animals have really short lifespans.
No, I know, but it also does seem like a lot of it has been slaughtering of animals.
Even
not
46 million.
Yeah, and the dogs. I mean, I'm sorry. Whether that's
No, it's getting worse. Okay, so to train these dogs, these stray dogs, who were roaming the streets and starving, and then they probably gave them a tiny little chicken bone, and the dogs were like, yep, okay, and pledged their undying love for these
for the Soviets.
scientists. They were confined to small boxes for 15 to 20 days at a time. They were subjected to rocket launch and centrifuge simulators, and they were kept in progressively smaller cages. Obviously the Eve thing, but the female dogs were used because of temperament, and dogs wore suits to collect their urine and feces, designed to work only with females, which is, I think, because God smited women.
Right.
And for Laika, the technology to re-enter the atmosphere had not been developed yet, and they wanted to do it on the 1 month anniversary.
Right. They were Russian. Expedited.
So she was never expected to return, which is so sad.
So they killed dogs intentionally, basically.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
But yeah, First mammal in space.
It's amazing. Of course it was a dog.
Yeah. So now we are going to talk about a very famous, of course you've heard of this pigeon, the famous soldier Sharami.
How is it spelled?
Sharami.
Shami?
Sharami
Shafami?
was the star of a popular legend. Of course, you're familiar with it. So the popular legend is that Sharami delivered a message alerting American forces to the location of the lost battalion despite being shot in the breast, losing his right leg, and being blinded in one eye. He is said to have saved the Lost Battalion, which were 9 companies of the U.S. 77th Division, roughly 554 men isolated by German forces after an attack in October 1918. But that's not really actually what happened.
I did figure that.
But so do you know about homing pigeons? Because I've always been like, okay, pigeons delivered messages,
they did.
but like, how?
I'd like to know. I just kind of always took it at face value. Like, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, when there's a will, there's a way.
I took the owls in Harry Potter at face value, but I never exactly bought the pigeons in real life. It always seemed like,
Oh, birds? I mean, well,
okay, well, they can't just go anywhere, and they don't speak English. I was like, how are they getting these directions? I thought maybe they spoke some sort of English or French.
I mean, if a pigeon was gonna speak a language, it would be French.
I like pigeons. So homing pigeons are pigeons that are domestic pigeons selectively bred for the ability to find their way home over extremely long distances. So the pigeon post is an ancient method, potentially all the way back to Egypt. Genghis Khan, but Chinggis Khan I think is the proper pronunciation.
I think it's Genghis.
I think it's Chinggis.
I don't think it is.
I think it is. According to the history of hyenas, it's Chinggis. So these pigeons historically only carried messages one way to their home and had to be transported manually before the flight home, which I didn't really understand that part, but that makes sense.
Yeah, see, you teach an animal something, they're gonna know how to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that it used to be you'd tell the pigeon, like, go to my mom and here's a message.
I see.
And it's like, how? I don't understand.
Psst, pigeon, come here.
I actually still don't understand how they did it in Harry Potter, but it's okay.
Well, I have one word for you.
So the Swiss Army stopped using pigeons in 1994. The military had used pigeons for 77 years and said it planned to train 12 of the 30,000 birds to compete on the European racing circuit. But the rest of the 30,000 birds were likely to, quote, end up on people's dinner tables. These were domesticated pigeons. It's just sad.
So much slaughtering is occurring right now.
Yeah. So the big thing about homing pigeons is that they can find their way back from distant places never visited before.
That's so cool.
Okay, so back to Sharami. Sharami was likely hatched early April of 1918. He was part of a group of 600 English-bred birds donated to the U.S. Army Signal Corps Pigeon Service, which was specifically established in 1917 for the war at the behest of the French and the British. And also out of respect for the fact that I forgot, Cher Ami is an American citizen. So I will now pronounce his name properly, Cher Ami. So Cher was one of 60 pigeons assigned to Mobile Loft number 11, which supported the 77th Infantry Division into and through the Argonne Forest.
Okay, that's cool.
So this is what people know. This is not like the legend. This is what we claim to know. So according to the Smithsonian, there was no conclusive link between the pigeons whose actions saved the Lost Battalion and Cher Ami, but it was clear that Cher had survived severe wounds transporting a message. Where and when these injury occurs was kind of uncertain.
We don't know.
It is possible, according to the Smithsonian, that on the afternoon of October 4th, 1918, Cher Ami was the 8th and last pigeon available to the men, known as the Last Battalion. They had already sent out the other ones and they died. They were surrounded by German forces. The men of the Lost Battalion were fighting off repeated attacks when they found themselves enduring a barrage of friendly artillery due to mistaken position coordinates. To attempt to stop the shelling, the Cher Ami was sent off with a message which read, "We are along the road parallel to 276.4. Our own artillery, blah, 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 blah." Just a message about, like, where they were.
Okay. Like, heads up, this is what's going on.
Yeah, about an hour after they released the pigeon, who is allegedly Cher Ami, the pigeon returned to mobile loft number 11, where they found the message. This bird's right leg was shot off, and there was a deep wound across the chest through the breastbone.
Oh, sad.
And the message provided the exact coordinates of the Lost Battalion, which aided in their eventual relief on the night of October 7th. So this pigeon saved 194 men in the Lost Battalion.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out, Cher Ami.
I know. So as a result of the wound, the Army had to amputate Cher Ami's right leg, which ended his military messaging services. Of
course.
That seems like it's for the best.
Yeah, I mean, he's in... Yeah, definitely.
He went to the U.S., his real home, on April 16, 1919. But
That's
due
where
to...
my grandpa was born.
Oh, I love that.
Cute. Maybe they were...
Your grandpa was born in 1919. It's wild.
That's why
My
he
grandpa
is...
was born in, like, 1942.
That's why my grandfather is no longer alive.
Wow, well, one of mine said. And he was born in the 40s.
I know, 1919 is
It's
old.
wild.
Yeah.
That's the year women had the... I mean,
No, I know.
His parents were like, women voting? That's weird.
Yeah.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. So due to his chest wound, Cher grew increasingly weaker and died on June 14th. His remains are in the Smithsonian. Cher Ami's remains are in the Smithsonian. He's missing a leg, his right leg, and there's a harm to his breastbone. Whether or not he's the same pigeon that has the right leg and breastbone injury from that specific...
I wanna go to the Smithsonian.
So this
I want to pay my
pigeon
respects.
was posthumously inducted into the Racing Pigeon Hall of Fame in 1931. I know.
All right, slay.
He also received a gold medal from the organized bodies of the American Pigeon Financiers in recognition of his extraordinary service.
Good for
Very
him.
prestigious award.
Yeah, this is
Part
one of the
of
most
EGOT,
prestigious,
famously.
pigeon
The
ever.
O in EGOT for Organized Bodies of American Pigeon Financiers. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
The O in EGOT. And in 2019, Cher received the Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery for his actions in World War I.
Wow.
And for a while, people thought he was a woman. But in 2021, the Smithsonian conducted a DNA test, which confirmed Cher Ami a male pigeon. No, he's a pigeon because he's American.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about another French immigrant. Can you guess who?
I can't.
Rin Tin Tin. Don't know how you couldn't guess that. So our next Frenchman turned American, Rin Tin Tin. So at one time he was Ri-Ti-Ti.
Rin Tin Tin?
Ri-Ti-Ti. And
Ri-Ti-Ti.
now he is
Rin Tin Tin.
So Rin Tin Tin is a male German Shepherd born in France. Actually, your grandpa probably fucking loved Rin Tin Tin because he was a silent film actor.
Yes.
And your grandpa's that old.
To enjoy a silent film.
Crazy. So Rin Tin Tin was a male German Shepherd born in France and rescued by an American soldier from a World War I battlefield. So him and Cher Ami were actually
They were Americanized. They assimilated.
Yeah. Rin Tin Tin starred in silent films. He appeared in 27 Hollywood films. He greatly increased the popularity of German Shepherd dogs as family pets. And he had one appearance in a color film where he barked in an intro to a musical pageant. Then, this was kind of sad, talking films became popular. And Rin Tin Tin
Out of work.
could not talk.
Right. Unfortunately. He was before we were giving dogs voices in movies.
Right. Studios started investing in what they call talking talent.
So humans.
Yeah, so that didn't really work out for Rin Tin Tin. And so, but then he ended up doing some television work, so it was
Oh,
fine.
okay.
He
He wasn't totally an out-of-work actor.
right. He was no. I don't think he was on the big screen anymore, but he was on the flat
small
screen, the
screen.
small screen. I guess it wasn't flat.
Not flat. It was
The square
large,
screen.
yeah.
So Rin Tin Tin was found by Lee Duncan in 1918, and thankfully he died in Duncan's home in 1932.
Okay,
So that's
like
pretty
a
good
nice
run.
full circle
Yeah,
moment. Yeah, that's nice.
1932.
Okay, it's a good life.
Yeah, so Rin Tin Tin Jr. tried to make it as an actor, but according to Wikipedia, he was, quote, not as talented as his father.
Oh
Isn't
no!
that crazy?
So actually,
Nepo
it was
baby.
Doggy Nepo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Rin Tin Tin the Third
Oh no.
was a fucking rascal. He helped. No, I'm actually just kidding. World War II was a good thing. Rin Tin Tin helped promote the military use. Oh no, I don't like this. Rin Tin Tin helped promote the military use of dogs during World War II, which is just sad. Do we really need the dogs?
No. No. Dogs can sniff for drugs and guns. That's about it.
Right. Rin Tin Tin, the war refugee. His legacy is
to go
that
back to the
Rin
war.
Tin Tin the Third is now promoting war dogs. Didn't like it. And then it's
Rin Tin Tin Sr. would not be okay with
No.
that.
Rin Tin Tin I think this is the most embarrassing one. Rin Tin Tin the Fourth was up for the titular role of the popular television series The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin, but did not get the part.
Come on.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
But it went to like
That feels like when nepotism should
one
be
of the
okay.
producer's dog, so a different case of
Oh,
nepotism.
okay. That's bullshit.
I know.
What dog gonna look more like Rin Tin Tin than Rin Tin Tin?
The fourth.
Right, like that's crazy.
So Rin Tin Tin seemed to have a fine life,
But not his offspring.
but his offspring had an embarrassing career, snafus. So we're gonna end with this episode with Coco the gorilla,
Okay.
and then we'll have a part 2 at another. So sound off in the comments.
What animals?
Yeah, what animals you're wondering about, what animals you'd like to hear about.
Their history, maybe. We could talk about Air Bud, how he got his start in the film business.
Yeah,
We should explore the Hollywood treatment of animals and how they train animals for set.
yeah. They said it never would work with kids or animals.
Right. I'd be curious to know. I mean, we know
It
kids.
hasn't worked out well for the kids.
Right. So I'd
it
be
can't have
interested to
worked out
know.
well for
Right. And the animals can't talk,
No,
obviously.
you're so right.
So I'd be curious to know more.
I agree. Okay, so Coco the gorilla, we're just gonna go through fast because like she's near and dear to my heart because
Yeah.
my first grade teacher was obsessed with her, and my brother had the same first grade teacher, and we would learn a different sign every day to like commemorate.
Oh, that's so
Coco.
cool.
But we didn't. I don't remember them.
We were in first grade.
Yeah. I also missed the day that we learned to read the clock, and I remember getting the handout in a blue folder, and it was very nicely set out, and I remember never opening up the blue folder. And I remember when we learned the times tables in third grade 2 years later, I was like, oh my god, the clock is making so much more sense to me. And I actually don't know how I read it before that or if I even did.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so shout out Mrs. Center. So Coco the gorilla, there's some controversy, unfortunately, around her ability to design, which is kind of heartbreaking to me because she was presented to me as this gorilla that could basically speak English, and in speaking English requested a pet cat, which is so fucking cute. Oh, and what really happened is Coco wanted a baby, but then like the cat wasn't in place because, and this is kind of sad, they did try to like set her up, pimp her out, and they tried to set her up with different gorillas, but they'd bring in these male gorillas, and she was just like basically like, imagine like a young woman raised in a convent, and then you're just gonna like throw her with like some random man and be like have sex and create a baby. It's
She's gonna be like, what?
She's gonna be like, what do you mean? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I was raised in a convent. That's kind of like how it,
Right. It's just like not natural for her.
right. Right, or like back to you're an alien on another planet. They
Similar
just like
concept.
you were taking it too,
Yeah.
to the other planet, and now they've captured a fully grown male and thrown him into the cage with
Right,
you.
that you've
That's
never seen before.
scary.
Yeah,
You're
terrifying.
basically a 2-year-old human when it comes to sex knowledge because
So sad.
the aliens have no idea. So, yeah. So they tried to like breed her, and then they were like, maybe no baby, so we'll get cat. And she like loved the kitten.
That's
and she was like,
interesting.
I guess when the kitten died, she like signed sad or something. And so people were like, oh my god, this is a sentient being, which it is. But so the issue is, so the lore is that Francine Penny Patterson, I don't know how you get Penny from Francine, but not my business, trained Coco to use a variety of American Sign Language. According to Penny, Coco understood 2,000 words of spoken English. According to skeptics, Coco didn't learn sign language, but instead mastered a number of modified ASL signs, which is not the same as ASL. ASL is like a whole
Right,
language with grammar and like syntax and pigeons and all
conjunction.
of that. Yes. Instead, Coco probably used a ritualized use of signs after her trainer Penny prompted her to.
Right.
So animals that live with us and not among themselves, animals are very into body language. So they can sense based on your body language different things. And so Coco probably didn't speak a lick of English.
I believe it.
Probably as much English as my dog Mick speaks, which is a solid amount.
When it comes to gorillas or like chimpanzees, monkeys, apes, they are most closely related to us. So of course they probably are going to have more of an understanding as to what we're saying. It doesn't mean they speak English. They speak
but
close-ish
dogs
to
did
human.
evolve, like,
Yeah, and that's why dogs,
to
like, we're
understand
simpatico,
us.
like mammals in general. But I'm saying, I mean, members of,
our
like, you know, what is it?
the great apes were
Yeah,
great apes,
yes.
I think. I did hear somewhere on the internet in one of those like just text posts.
Yeah,
So unreliable source.
right.
But I
you've
saw
heard.
that spiders, the reason that you're seeing less spiders now than you did before, because I do feel like I am seeing fewer spiders.
Yeah, although I did see one the other day, and
So did I.
me out.
But if you think about it, when there are shorter winters and they're less of a freeze, there should be more spiders. So we should be seeing plenty more spiders.
Okay.
But we're not, and we're seeing maybe less or the same amount or whatever.
Are they hiding?
And part of that is because we kill the ones we see.
Oh, yeah.
So they've evolved to just hide
hide.
from us. And
Well, that's fine.
love that.
Live your best life.
I hope that I get to live in a world where spiders learn to hide from me, because that's what I want for them. I hope my whole fucking place is filled with spiders
And
that
they're
are
just
so
so
good
good
at
at
hiding from
hiding.
me that I'll never know.
Right.
Live in peace. Live and
Although
let live.
I do hate the spiders in your mouth while you sleep.
It's not my business.
No, I'd like to not eat spiders if
I
I
think,
can help it.
I mean, I've never woken up to a spider on my face, so they must be able to tell when you're in REM. And they go in there. I mean, I think I probably have maybe swallowed 0 spiders in the last 15 years, because unfortunately I haven't been.
You have not been in REM
anywhere
sleep
but my
once.
face. And I sleep on my face.
You also, I don't believe, get REM sleep.
No, I don't. My watch says I
Right,
get
and I
about
get
15 minutes of
I get
REM
about
night.
3 hours of REM a night, so that's a lot of time.
But the bigger problem is that I sleep on my stomach, and
Which
part
is
of that is
so
I
bad
sleep
for your-
on my face.
so bad for your
You know,
spine.
sometimes I have like suffocation dreams a lot. And it's not that I'm like, it's not a dream. I'm
should
actually
only sleep on your
suffocating
back.
because my face
Yeah.
is in the pillow, and then I wake up and I get some air.
I'm a back sleeper, but I think I'm gonna get mouth tape because I would like to
Not eat
make
spiders.
sure there is a
I
0.000%
would take the spiders. I hope that a year from now, I'm sleeping on my back and eating 8 spiders a night. I mean, it would change. I mean, not 8 spiders a night, because I feel like I would notice that. But yeah, so those are the animals that you may have been wondering what happened to them.
Where are they now? Well, we just told you.